3 up, 2 across, tap that play button 3 times, and walk through the archway into Dialogue Alley. Hello and welcome to Dialogue Alley, a podcast about Harry Potter books, book translations, and all other things magical. I'm Melanie.
I'm Carly.
I'm Erik.
And the 3 of us are Harry Potter book translation collectors. If you are new to our show, that means that we collect Harry Potter books in all different translations. We have them in all different languages from all over the world. If you think, hey, I wonder if those 3 people have Harry Potter in Bosnian. Guess what? Sure do.
Yeah, but Melanie, do we have it in Malayalam?
Sure do, man. We sure do.
Oh.
Whoa. Languages that you may not even heard of. Some of them are, Harry Potter is one of the most translated books in the world, which is pretty amazing. We're kind of thinking that there's like 98 at least translations of this book, which is crazy to think about. But here we are having a podcast talking about these books, and we talk about some other cool Harry Potter stuff sprinkled in there as well. So that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today. Actually, we're not having a translation episode so much.
No, we're talking like content of the books.
Whoa.
I love when we do content episodes, though. I feel like we haven't.
I do too, because
we haven't done that in like quite some time.
Since last season,
we like
maybe.
we like the content. What, Carly?
We haven't talked content heavily anyway since last season. Have we?
I don't think so. We haven't talked about a movie for a while either. I think we're due for another.
We're due for another
episode.
movie night.
Dump. Well, one of the things that we have done on this podcast in the past is we have started like some series in between. One series that we did was like some of our favorite box sets. We have a movie series, and our episode today is going to be part 2 of our What If series. So if you were listening to us back in season 2, episode 17, we did a What If episode about the content of Sorcerer's Stone. So today we're going to be doing a What If episode on Chamber of Secrets, which will be super cool. And this is episode 13 of season 3 already. Crazy.
14.
14. No,
14.
Nuh-uh.
Wow.
We're even farther along than you thought.
Well, even cooler than that, this is our 75th episode.
Oh, wow.
That is three silver anniversaries right there.
That's
75.
really
That's
phenomenal.
3 quarters right there.
75. So we have a little bit of news. So we'll get into that. Then we will talk about our little what if stuff. And then we have a phenomenal translation of the show, as always. I feel like we always have a great translation of the show because they're never really bad. Maybe next episode we'll pick like a bad one. Like
Is
a
there
book
a
that
bad
we
one?
don't like.
Oh, yeah.
We've
we
already
have
done
some that I
Bengali.
don't like. There's a few.
Yeah,
for
I
the
feel
most
like-
part, I love them all, but
But the translation of the show today is absolutely stellar.
I'm
And what's
super
fun about
excited.
it is I don't think Erik has this, and
I do not.
I feel like after this episode,
he's going to have it.
we're gonna have to make some magic happen. But
I've had plenty of opportunities to buy this translation of the show set, and I don't know.
It's
You gotta-
because
We've mentioned
you
it
haven't
before in
fallen
previous
love with
episodes.
It. We're going to make you love it.
I haven't, and it takes up a lot of space.
But we're
Not
going to make
really.
you love it.
No,
I mean, it does and it doesn't.
no, it
but
doesn't, Erik. It doesn't take
yeah.
up space. I just turned around. I
Okay,
just
fine.
looked. It doesn't. But
Okay.
stay tuned. Stay tuned for the translation of the show because we're going to go deep dive into these awesome books. But first, why don't we get into some news?
All right, so we have a couple news items. We have one that's a little bit more heavy-hearted than the others. So I feel like we're going to start with the not heavy-hearted news, which I think briefly, Melanie, you just remembered that you had some Harry Potter gifts that you received. So I think you should mention those because you said you didn't get any and you lied.
I did lie. And I feel terrible about it because some of them are amazing. My mom got me this like platform 9 3/4 like hanging sign that you like hang up outside of a door. And it is so cool and it lights up and it's something that my husband promised he was going to put up for me and he still hasn't put it up. But then we got the flu. So he gets like a little bit of an excuse. So maybe this weekend it'll, he'll get a pass for now. So I got that, which is amazing. But the coolest thing that I got is one of the Harry Potter magic smart wands, like the Hufflepuff one.
Oh, really? Do you love it?
I have only pretended with it so far. I haven't done the actual magic with it yet, because we haven't set it up. Also flu. But once we set it up, it's going to be so magical, and I can't wait. So thanks, Travis. That's from my best friend, Travis.
That's awesome.
Got that for me. I know. I'm so excited about it. It comes in like a really cool box. Like the box itself is like what charges the wand. You put the wand in and it like plugs in. So cool. We don't have like too many smart type things in our house. We have one smart light bulb in our living room that Alexa controls. That's pretty much it. So we might have to get some more smart stuff so I can play with my wand.
That is really
Or you just have
awesome.
one epic way to turn on the one light bulb that you have in your living room.
Lumos. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't wait.
fun.
It's so cool. Yeah. What other things? My mom got me like some Harry Potter pajamas. She also apparently when we were in Edinburgh, she had like bought me a ton of stuff too, like some like wood silhouette of Hogwarts that lights up behind it. I have to set that up somewhere in my room. But that's a really cool one. And she also bought me the Hogwarts Express train, like the actual train. So
Oh,
we have
wow.
to set
Does
that
it like
up.
go and stuff, like with a track?
I'm pretty sure it does. Oh my God, guys. Also, I don't think I got to say it like on the podcast, but I know we mentioned that we did our gift exchange through the Discord, which was so cool. And it was so fun. We all like chatted afterward about what everyone got and that sort of thing. And my person that had me, shout out to David, got like this adorable skirt for Nora, this really cute little jacket for her also. And he got me the 4th printing of Sorcerer's Stone. So now I have printings
that's
1
cool.
through 10. Like it was the one I was missing, and I've been missing it for years because I couldn't find it at the price
I remember
I
you
wanted to
trying
pay
to
for
search
it.
for it like a long time ago.
Forever, years, because people kept.
I've had one for a few years.
I know that's the
But
one that like Erik has.
I'm not giving it to you.
No, you don't have
The only
to
one I
now.
have that's like under 10 is the 4th printing.
No, I was just so excited about it. Like, it was such a thoughtful gift because David just like clearly was paying attention, and he must have heard me at some point say that the only printing I was missing was a 4th, and that you know, it was just so overpriced on eBay, and I really only wanted to pay what it was selling for on eBay, which was like around $40. That was all I really wanted to pay for it. He just made magic happen. And now I'm looking up at my shelf. I have book 1 is in like a special case, and then I have 2 through 10 all right on one nice little shelf. And it's so satisfying. It looks so good.
Oh, that's awesome. Our gift exchange was
So that was
so
probably
fun.
one of my favorite gifts.
Yeah.
That was awesome. We'll do that again next year for sure. I feel like it went so well. So
It did. I think everybody enjoyed it that participated.
yeah, it definitely sounded like it. So we'll definitely have more fun little things sprinkled throughout our Discord, like little surprises. So we'll plan some stuff like that. Was there any other happy news?
Yeah, so my daughter and I got a group gift. We got the Harry Potter Mina Lima illustrated book 1 for Christmas. I didn't mention that in my bonus episode, but so like I have 3 of them now. Like she has 1, so one's hers. And we started reading it together, and she wanted to read it, so we just started. So like we trade off bedtimes, so like I only get to read it every other night. My wife gets to read the other nights, which is fine, right? But we just started the Diagon Alley chapter, and it's super cool. We get like 2 or 3, maybe 4 pages in a night. But yeah, it's just really fun.
Does she
it's super
love
special.
it?
I love that.
Love it. It's super cool.
Is she loving it?
Honestly, she loves it. With a 5-year-old, like the Mina Lima version is so awesome because like she just can't wait till we get to the next page where there's like a thing to do, you know, because it's all stuff that you do in it. You don't just look at the picture. So the next to do thing is the fold out Diagon Alley thing, and she knows it's coming up. So like she'll peek, she'll be like, 4 more pages till the thing. I'm like, I know.
Oh, how cute.
2 more pages till the thing. Yeah.
That's so cute.
So,
I
super
love
fun.
that.
So I mean, it's gonna take us a while to get through it, but
But you're enjoying
That's
it.
okay.
but we're enjoying it. It's super fun.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
I love that.
That's really wonderful. And we also just decided tonight that she found out that there are movies because she saw the movies down here a while ago, and she wants to read one book, then watch the movie, and then read another book, and then watch the movie, which I think is a good idea because the first 3 movies I think are okay for like a 5-6-year-old, and then it might get a little
then it
too
gets
dark.
hard.
And the plot gets kind of complicated.
Well, I mean, if
too.
you're
So-
only reading 4 pages a day, like by the time you actually get through Goblet of Fire, she'll probably be like 9 or 10.
Probably. So who cares? Like, right? Like, it'll probably actually
That's
work
a
out
great
pretty fine.
pace for you
mathematically. So,
guys.
I
yeah,
love
it's awesome.
that.
So if you have a small child and you have not read the book to them, 5 years old, it's okay. She's doing all right. And the Mina Lima version, I know we've talked about like maybe the Jim Dale, not Jim Dale. I always say that. The Jim K version, illustrated version, is a good one to read. It's a big book, right? This is also very helpful. The Mina Lima one's smaller, so I'm like laying in her bed, I can read it. I'm not like folding this giant book out, but yeah, it's just really, really fun. She's looking forward to like manipulating all the stuff. So I only have one Chamber of Secrets, so now I'm like debating, like, do I buy the signed one? Because I think you still can,
I think
right?
you
sure
still
you can,
can.
yeah.
Yeah. Just from their website.
And then let her use this one, or I mean, do I just go to like Target and get another one?
I would honestly, like, in your shoes, I would buy the signed one.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, but I also I want to have a gift for her to open and stuff too. Like I don't want to just wrap up a book I already have.
She won't know.
So I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be
Unless
fine.
she listens
We'll
to the
see.
podcast, then she would know.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. So yeah, so that's our last bit of happy news. Our not so happy news, but honestly, when you think about it,
Beautiful
right? I'll read this
news.
to you. Beautiful news. The illustrator of the Bulgarian books. We actually just talked about these a few episodes ago with Stan from when he was talking about the Bulgarian anniversary books that came out. So the illustrator, I want to say his name is Lyuben Zidarov, I think.
Yeah, that works.
That's as close as I'm going to get, I think. He has passed away at the age of 99.
99.
Which
Wow.
I did not know how old this person was. That's crazy. So
That means he was in his 90s when he designed these Harry Potter books.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
And there's a really nice quote here from the Union of Bulgarian Artists. It says, Zidarov's remarkable children's books, illustrations, and paintings have shaped the taste of several generations. Active until the very last, he inspired us with his unabated urge to experiment, with his optimism and his subtle sense of humor.
I love that.
And
That's beautiful.
I mean, 99, working on, doing what he loved till he's 99, you can't ask for anything
No, you
better than
Unbelievable.
that, really. Unbelievable. So, I think a very gratitude with high gratitude wands up for Lyuben Zidarov, the illustrator of the Bulgarian anniversary books. So, really, really nice that we're able to talk about him because what a life, right? 99.
Yeah, beautiful. And I was reading like a little bit more about him too, and he illustrated some major things as well. I'm pretty sure he's done like some works with Mark Twain, like
Oh, really?
some other major Bulgarian books. Hold on, I want to re-look this up because the article that I was reading was just like absolutely bonkers. How much stuff he's done. It's spectacular. Arabian Nights. He did Treasure Island.
I love Treasure Island.
The Count of Monte Cristo. He did
really?
Tom Sawyer, The Prince and the Pauper. He did Uncle Tom's Cabin. Like major titles.
I'm gonna have to check him out.
And Harry Potter. So yeah, I feel like we're so lucky that we ended up with someone so talented, even though we did hear that he never actually read the Harry Potter books when he did the illustrations for them. But,
But we did hear from Stan that I think before we did research about him, that he was a very famous Bulgarian
Yes.
artist. So, like, just this goes to show, right? He's been doing this. Mark Twain. You do Mark Twain and Harry Potter.
That's incredible.
Like,
and
it's amazing.
Andre Dumas,
That's
The Count of
pretty
Monte
crazy.
Cristo, that's huge. Like, that's one of my favorite books, too.
right.
I feel
And these
like
books came out a long time ago because he was, had a long career.
it's just so cool because, I feel like we say it all the time that having all of these books on our shelves it's almost like museum-esque because we have so many works of art on our shelves. And I feel like we almost take it for granted because, half the time we're just looking at spines. But that's what's so nice about doing the translation of the show is we really get to like analyze and look at these covers and look at these books and appreciate them. And I feel like learning all of this information about this cover artist really
It made me
It's pretty
appreciate them much
spectacular.
more.
Oh, absolutely. So cool.
So, I guess all of us here, and I guess I speak for the community as well, would just like to say, thanks for everything, Mr. Zidarov. Even though we were only really exposed to your Harry Potter illustrations, what a career of illustrations with really notable works. And I think especially in Bulgaria, Stan mentioned how famous he was there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have been touched by his illustrations and have been in contact with his work throughout their reading journey, no matter if they're, an older reader or just a beginner reader. There's going to be kind of a great legacy that lives on in Bulgaria and around the world since we've collected some of his books. So
That's right.
just what a great mark to leave on the world, I think. And just really, really special that you're able to touch that many people with your illustrations.
That was really nice.
So I think that's all we have for news.
I think you're right.
What if we talked about something else, Melanie?
Funny you mentioned what if, because that's what we're going to be talking about. So today we're going to be talking about what if theories for book 2, which I'm super excited about. This is something that I said when we talked about part 1 of the series this is constant topic of conversation at the dinner table at my house is, ooh, what if this happened? Or what if this didn't happen? And we go down all of these rabbit holes. So I have, I think, 5 what if topic points that we can chit chat about today. Are you ready? Are there 6?
I added one.
You added one. You sneaky,
I did.
sneak.
Nice.
Just call him Marietta Edgecombe because he is a sneak. Get it? Do you guys get it?
I like that.
It was
joke.
Marietta Edgecombe, right? I don't want to
Yeah.
sound stupid for that. Okay.
Yeah,
it was.
Marietta
You did
Edgecombe.
good.
All
Yeah.
right, good. Whew, that was pulled from deep in my brain waves. Okay. So our first what if question is a deep one because this goes far, guys. Is what if Harry and Ron made it on the train?
I don't know that we'd have much of a book.
We wouldn't have much of a story.
No, you would still have a story.
It would just be entirely different. Like
Ginny still got the diary. Like Chamber of Secrets is still opening, like that whole thing is still
But there's a lot of
happening.
things later in the book that rely on the car physically being there. Like
Okay,
when they
discuss.
go to What?
Discuss.
Oh, right. So the fact that the car is in the forest makes, that's how they get saved from Aragog and like the throng of spiders that seemingly there's no escape
That's like
from,
my
right?
worst
And,
nightmare.
God. It's mine too. I hate even really thinking
I
about
know,
it while we're talking about it. I'm getting
I'm already getting the heebie-jeebies,
bumpies on my
so
arms. I don't like it. But the car wouldn't have been there to save them, and that really does save them. So nothing would have saved them. They probably would have been eaten by
They would have been
spiders.
spider
and
food.
the series would have come to an uneventful conclusion 3/4 of the way through book 2.
Also, I love that the
I
car
have-
was living wild in the forest. Like, that makes me chuckle when I think about it.
Yeah, that it got turned wild.
Turned
Yeah, that's
wild.
pretty fun.
I have 2 rabbit holes to go down with this.
Okay, let's hear 'em.
One is that the boys never would have gotten detention, so Harry wouldn't have been in Lockhart's office to hear the basilisk for the first time.
Oh, true.
He
So
would
we
have been in
wouldn't
the
known
Great
about
Hall, in
anything.
which case, exactly, he would have been in the Great Hall. Also, Ron wouldn't have been in detention, so he wouldn't have recognized the name Tom Riddle in the diary.
Right from the shield, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he had to
I think the
polish
shield
it.
one's more important than the detention one.
I agree with you with that. I agree with you as well, because I feel like they were like, ooh, Tom Riddle, like he was a student from 50 years ago, blah, blah, blah. Like that's how they knew to that's why they thought, oh, well, he was around when the Chamber of Secrets was open because 50 years ago,
Right.
that whole thing. So that's, I feel like a really interesting point is that they wouldn't have had that detention. And another point is that Ron's wand never would have been broken because
true.
they never would have landed in the Whomping Willow.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we never really would have gotten his full potential as a wizard because he was using a borrowed wand. However, this is my sneakiest sneaky one, right? Is his wand then, if everything else was the same, right? And they go down to the chamber, they're gonna go save Ginny, whatever. His wand never would have backfired on him and caused
That's true,
Lockhart to
too.
lose his memory, that whole thing. So could you imagine if Harry, Ron, and Lockhart would have made it into the Chamber of Secrets? Like, Lockhart would not have made it. I'm sorry, he's dumb. Like,
No,
I
he
know you
wouldn't
guys
have
are
made it.
No,
big Lockhart fans.
what-
He would not have made it.
He would have modified their memories and then left.
Yeah,
and then
he
said
would have
we tried
overpowered
and they wouldn't have been able to say oh
Yeah.
no, there's more down there. They'd have been like, man, there's nothing there.
He would have overpowered them.
Yeah, I
and
guess
then done
would.
it.
Yeah, I guess
Potentially
so.
though, had they returned and Lockhart's like, here's the basilisk thing, you would think Dumbledore would be like, okay, wait a sec, how'd you get down there? Where is this? I couldn't even find it, so show me where it is. And then he might want to go down and check it out and still find that there's something there, but
Yeah, and then Dumbledore
Maybe.
would find Harry and Ron's dead bodies down there, and then we
Yeah.
wouldn't have the rest of the series. I don't know.
right.
It would just end abruptly. and be
or
like,
maybe-
and that's
Or they
that.
would have been they would have been gone crazy because their memories would have been modified and whatever the case may be. Or
Right, but had someone gotten down there, they would have realized they didn't actually make it to the Chamber of Secrets. They didn't get all the way to the chamber part. They just got to
Secrets.
the vestibule.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
the
the
vestibule.
vestibule
lobby.
of secrets.
Just the lobby of
of
secrets.
secrets.
But
Yeah.
also, I feel like if Lockhart was successful at performing a memory charm on Harry and Ron, his memory charm would have been good. It wouldn't have landed them in St. Mungo's. Lockhart's memory charm, when it backfired on him, landed him in St. Mungo's because it was just so messed up. And that brings us all the way to like book 5. Okay, now Lockhart's not in St. Mungo's. Like that would affect all of that if we make it to book 5, because now Harry and Ron like are don't
modified.
remember things.
Their memories
I feel
are
like
modified.
we're getting into the like book two. Book 2 introduces a lot of like what ifs that could result in the death of the main character of the series, which. I mean, it's like when you watch a new show. Like my wife and I started watching another show, and there's like 4 seasons, and of course, like the main person, like episode 2, it's like, how are they going to escape? Well, they better, because they're in season 4. So, like, I'm not too worried, right? Or like, or you watch a movie, and you're like, well, there are 4 in this series, in this series. So, like, the main guy's not going to die because he's on the cover of movie 4. So
listen, Game of Thrones happened, man. Like anything is possible.
Game of Thrones. That's why that threw everything out the window. And that's why, and spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, like one of my friends watched it with her husband for the first time a couple years ago. And they were like maybe like 5 or 6 episodes into the first series. And God, what's the dad in the first series? Ned Stark, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, I think Ned Stark's my favorite character. He seems like a guy that's going to be going the whole series, and they wouldn't dare kill him off. And I'm like, okay, you don't know what this show's about yet. Your world's about to get rocked.
Just don't.
Because all of ours we're like, Ned
Rob.
Stark's the man. Ned Stark's the man. It's like, whoa, that ended quick.
Well, I mean, if you like Ned Stark, just look at his son, Rob Stark.
I know. That show, just the emotion. Like the spectrum of emotions you would feel in one episode was like.
Should we do a Game of Thrones podcast? I love Game of Thrones. I could talk Game of Thrones for forever.
We could do a tangent podcast.
We are here to talk about Harry Potter what ifs. All right.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, I feel like so many crazy things would have happened if Harry. It's like butterfly effect. Like if Harry and Ron were on the train.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, would have been.
It would have been a regular mundane
They would have seen like the
year.
sorting. Well, no,
not regular or mundane.
Ginny had the diary already.
Right. So shenanigans were going to occur, but their way out of the shenanigans wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
But Melanie, what if a different first year got the diary and not Ginny?
I know. That's another one of my what ifs. Like
I know that was the next one.
I know. Look how good you are. That was really great. Yeah.
I was
what
like,
if it
really?
wasn't
That's
Ginny?
so coincidental.
But also,
or what if he missed? What if Lucius Malfoy opened the book to throw it in and he like missed completely and closed it up and was like, haha. And then they all leave the bookstore and it's just like sitting there in the mud and all the old witches are coming out after the book signing, just stepping on it. Bop, bop, bop.
But like, what if like Colin Creevey just like picked it up? Like he happened to be in, and
oh gosh,
I could see Colin Creevey being like a big Lockhart fan. So he's there in Dervish and Bangs, like wanting to get his book signed and take a bunch of like little pictures.
Flourish, yeah.
Why did I say Dervish and Bangs?
I don't know.
I don't know,
but why? Okay, so he's in Flourish and Blotts that day, and he wants to get all of his books signed. He wants to take some Muggle pictures of Lockhart, and it's just easy target. Like let's sneak this guy this diary because he looks,
especially with his attitude, right? His gung-ho attitude, like I want to do it all.
Yeah,
right. I know. So
he would have been an easy target for that,
right? And like, I feel like we look at Harry all the time, and he's like this great hero, and he like has the hero complex and whatever. But like, do we think that he would go down in the Chamber of Secrets to save Colin Creevey?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
that's a good question. Maybe
I think he would.
And then,
and I say that simply because at the end of the day, like I feel like he feels like he needs to save everybody that he can. So I think he would.
Yeah, but like I think too that he would still hear the basilisk, so he would still be very involved. And we don't figure out that it's Ginny is the one that's taken into the Chamber of Secrets until the end. I feel like Harry knew of Colin Creevey too much. But the thing is, this what if question doesn't have to be Colin Creevey. It could be any other first year. It could have been some
I think he would have gone down there for anybody. He would have gone for anybody. Like book 4 kind of shows that in the second task when he goes.
Yeah, he would have even gone down
to
there
wait
with
around for
Draco.
Flora's sister. Like, he has no idea who Flora's sister is. He barely even knows Flora Delacour. She said like 4 things to him, and all of them are like degrading and insulting. Yet he's still like going to stay and save her sister.
Right.
So I think he'd go for anybody.
He's still on the hero's quest at the end of the day, so he still would have done it.
Yeah.
But like, if it would have been Draco or Colin or like a more tertiary character who's mentioned once or twice or whatever, I don't know that
Neville the Toad.
Neville's Toad.
I think it would have
Not
been
Neville's Toad, not Neville the Toad. Trevor the Toad, Neville's Toad.
I mean,
thought
if it
you
would
said
have been
Neville's Toad, so that covered it.
I thought you said
Okay.
Neville's Toad. It would have been different. We, the reader, wouldn't have been as invested because at this point we know Ginny. We love the Weasleys. Ron's one of our favorites. He's one of the big 3. We don't want to see Ron lose a sibling. That's going to hurt. That kind of thing. Even though we don't necessarily.
Yeah, it had to be Ginny. And,
right. So.
And also, I feel like that was a huge part of. Obviously, Ginny was already very like infatuated with Harry,
right,
since book 1, and we know at the beginning of book 2 she's very, very interested in him. And we know, like, because of Valentine's Day, that Ginny is very interested in Harry. So I feel like, I don't know, if it wasn't her going down there, like, and he didn't save her life, would she have had this underlying, like, almost obsession with him throughout her entire, like, teenage life? Maybe.
I think so, because he's going to do really other neat things that are going to draw her attention. So probably, but not.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, not that she wouldn't feel like she maybe owes him, like, at the end of the day, he saved her life. So there's kind of a level of, I need to pay you back because you have made sure that I'm alive kind of thing.
So I feel like this whole thought process kind of ties into another one of my what ifs. This isn't the next one that's on there, but one of the what ifs I put was like, what if they were too late? Like, what if Ginny died? And I feel like it ties into it because if it was a character that Harry didn't care about, Hufflepuff X was down in the Chamber of Secrets, insecure Hufflepuff X, and Harry like didn't care or whatever the case may be, like, and then Voldemort succeeded in stealing the soul from a child to reform his body with his Horcrux.
Is that what would happen though? Like, he'd reform the body? Do we ever like actually know what?
Well, because it's
success would have been.
Isn't it that Ginny was pouring her soul into the diary, which is like fueling
That's
Voldemort's soul that was also in the diary, like something along the lines of that.
Would that soul have then like gone and rejoined with the bit of Voldemort that was on Quirrell's head?
Well, no.
I don't understand like what the Tom Riddle would have done, because that wasn't the same Voldemort soul that was in the other Horcruxes even.
Exactly. Well, this was the diary Horcrux.
Right.
Right. And could the diary Horcrux like become Voldemort again? Like, then what happened to the other Voldemort?
Isn't that the whole point of the Horcruxes?
I guess, but like, so there could be like multiple. Like, what if the other Horcruxes like revived?
Yes, there are multiple Horcruxes. That's the whole book 7.
Like, but could there be like 7 Voldemorts walking around then?
Well, no, because there weren't 7 created at that point. We know that.
Well, yeah, but there was at least 5.
I guess that brings us back to what is the point of a Horcrux.
Frank Bryce wasn't gone yet.
What?
Because that's book 4. Wait, now I'm thinking Horcruxes. I have to think how many Horcruxes were there. We definitely had the diary. We had the ring. We had the cup. We had the diadem. We did not have Nagini yet.
No.
We had Harry, but we didn't really know about Harry. And then what's the other one?
Locket?
Did you say the locket?
The locket. We did have.
We had the locket. We had the
So,
locket. Yeah.
Okay, so it was the diary.
We had all of them. We had all of them but the snake.
Nagini. Nagini was the only one that we didn't have. Okay, so that's. So yeah, we know that he has all of these Horcruxes already. So this is just like the attempt of the diary to become Voldemort. This is him.
But would it have just become like Tom Riddle again? Or like would Tom Riddle have like gotten solid and then all of a sudden like turned into the gross Voldemort that we knew?
That's what I always assumed.
We don't know, I guess.
I don't know. I wonder
far.
that too. Every time, because they say his like outlines, you know, like is less blurry. It's becoming clear. He seems more solid. Like, would that have been him?
Maybe.
Because he also seemed to have like a different, because it was like the diary school Tom Riddle, not like the current Voldemort. Like it had like a different personality almost.
Yeah.
And like different mentality.
Yeah.
And way of talking and thinking than the Voldemort from book 1.
Yeah.
So
I always thought it'd bring back
I don't know. It's
that person, because at one point, like at least in the movies, it says I'm nothing more than a memory or something along those lines. But I thought that at some point it would at least pave the way for the gross Voldemort to come back into fruition. I don't know how much. We never made it that far.
Well, I don't know. It's also, we know that the diary is an early Horcrux. It's like one of his first Horcruxes because it's...
Yeah, he was quite young when he made it.
Well, if not, that was probably... No, but that was probably his first Horcrux.
Yeah,
when he killed Myrtle.
Yeah.
Because he was a prefect at the time. Mm-hmm. Wasn't he... Was it a year later that he had Slughorn and asked him if he could make multiple Horcruxes at that point?
Yeah, I think that was the memory.
That's what Dumbledore alludes to, I think. Yeah. Because Dumbledore like says that explicitly to Harry. Like he's like, is that when he found? He's like, oh no, he definitely knew about it. He was just like fixated on the could he make more?
Right. So I think he made the diary was his. Oh, we're on like such a tangent right now. This has nothing to do with what ifs, but I'm so into it.
It's a huge what if though. It's a huge what if rabbit hole.
I know. So the diary, I think, was his first Horcrux because he killed Moaning Myrtle, made the Horcrux. Here it is. And I guess because he was like a teenager when he made the Horcrux, that's how he would come back.
Yeah.
And that I would imagine that's, I don't know. This
it's like
is
a save state playing on like Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, finally, I can try to beat Mega Man. Yes. And you can just save state right before the boss.
I don't know. And also, this is just like, I feel like a theory that's like in the air about Horcruxes, but just obviously you're splitting the soul 7 times, but it's not like you're not splitting the whole soul 7 times. You're splitting half of a soul. It's like so it's like, okay, the first time you're splitting your soul, it's this. So now there's Voldemort and then there's the diary. Here are the 2 pieces of his soul. Then the next time it's like, here's the diary. I'm doing this with my hands, guys, for those of you that are listening. And then you have Voldemort,
model,
but then Voldemort, this one gets split in half and is 2. But this is, one of these is still Voldemort, and now this one is the next Horcrux. This is the ring. But the diary is half of Voldemort. Half of his soul.
True.
So that makes it like such a strong Horcrux in that aspect too.
That's hashtag math or maths.
Maths. Hashtag maths.
Hashtag math or maths, UK listeners.
But I feel like that's what makes the diary so powerful in itself too. So yeah, I think if Ginny died because her soul helped to replay. Wait. No, I was trying to do some more maths. It's not going to work. How cool would it have been if Ginny was half the age that Voldemort was when he made the Horcrux? That's what was going through my head right there. It was not true, but
not true.
No, but like, okay, you have like this little kid, her cute little soul. Do we want to like combine that with Voldemort's half a soul? And then Voldemort, that's how Voldemort comes back.
Now, all I'm thinking about now is Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the troll song.
Also, all I'm thinking about, besides all of these maths, is the reason why I said Dervish and Bangs before is because Dervish and Bangs in Wizarding World in Orlando is where you buy the books from. Like, that's where I always buy my books. When I buy, like...
good to know because I'm going, Melanie.
Like, when I buy my Sorcerer's Stone with, like, the sticker, I always buy it at Dervish and Bangs. So that's why before I said Dervish and Bangs instead of Flourish and Blotts.
That makes sense.
Okay. Aha.
that's been sticking in my
Side note,
brain.
can you get that book in the City Walk area
No,
or
not with
just
the
in the
sticker.
park? Okay.
Yeah, that you can buy books, but they don't have the sticker.
Okay, let's jump off the tangent wagon and go to the next one here. But I liked that. That was great.
That was a really good one. This one is also really good. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What if Draco did not cast Serpent Sorcia during Dueling Club?
Well, that's a short one. We wouldn't have cared as much about Justin Finch Fletchley.
That is
Next
not
question.
a short one. That is not a short one,
I know.
sir.
I know.
Sir. Because Hermione would not have then known that Harry speaks parcel tongue. So then how would she wouldn't have put 2 and 2 together to know that the monster was a basilisk.
Right?
So then
It's possible that we could have figured it out through other means. Do you think Hagrid knew what it was?
that it was no, I don't.
No,
I
he would
definitely
have said.
But
Hagrid
the
didn't
spiders knew.
Hagrid-
So do you think he ever talked about it with the
No,
spiders?
I don't think so. I don't think.
But the
Because
spiders,
they said they never speak of it, but Hagrid's their best chum, right? So
he would have been like, "Come on, guys, come on,
come on,
little elbow,
I love
come
all
on."
creatures. And they're like,
He
not
would have
this
known
one.
there was something they were
Snake.
afraid of, but they wouldn't have known what.
I don't know. Maybe Hagrid would have
Yeah.
gone up. Listen, Hagrid did so much research on Norbert, getting all those dragon books. I am sure that Hagrid probably would have gone into all sorts of beastie books, being like, "Ooh, I wonder what this is." The spiders know about
Well,
it.
especially
what are
with all of
spiders
his
afraid of?
roosters dying and stuff. That's what I'm surprised that no one else figured out what was killing everybody or doing the petrification, because there were clues in there, right?
That the rooster, she kept killing the roosters because the crow of the rooster kills it.
Right, the spiders flee before it, right? They could have been the only kids seeing all these lines of spiders, booking it out of the building, they're trying to rope drop Space Mountain, but
I don't know. If I would have seen a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
spiders
It's,
leaving
again,
a building,
it
I would
always-
have been happy. So I wouldn't have thought anything of it.
See?
I think other people would have noticed for sure. They had
I'm sure
to
they
have.
noticed. I don't think
see
they
it
put things
multiple times in the
together.
hallway. They see it in
But
classrooms.
is that just a movie thing though?
No, they see it in herbology in the book.
Oh yeah, I guess so. You're right.
So they and those cannot have been the only 2 locations in the entire castle where the spiders are marching towards the woods there.
Right.
All right. Okay, wait. This we have 2 more. This next one is I feel is more of just my biggest Chamber of Secrets pet peeve, because it's literally the biggest plot hole, one of the biggest plot holes in Harry Potter, in my opinion. What if Dumbledore just talked to Moaning Myrtle?
Right? Because
come on,
she
dude.
died, and she's a ghost immediately after she dies.
And the
they
thing
could
is,
just be hey, what happened? How'd you die?
kidding.
Wouldn't that be the first question you'd ask a ghost if after a death has occurred and there's a crime scene and all of a sudden the ghost of the dead person is just sitting there for everyone to see? Would you be
you don't want to ask
so
her how
how'd
she
you
died?
So how'd you die?
No one wanted
Right?
to ask. No one wanted to ask her how she died. And the thing is, too, Alon's argument was, Dumbledore came out and he even said he doesn't know all of the things of the castle. He doesn't know all of the secrets that Hogwarts has to hide. But in the same breath, okay, he's a grown man. What would he be doing in a little girl's bathroom? He wouldn't be. But
we know she
at
goes
the
outside
very
of the little girl's
least-
bathroom, and he could have sent someone else in.
well, but
Right, but Olive
should
Hornby? Do you think Olive Hornby, who she's immediately just haunting?
I know, we
to
know
the
that
extent
she
where Olive
leaves.
Hornby has to complain about it, so they tell her she's not allowed to bother Olive Hornby anymore.
Right. It's that, and it's
They'd be
also at the very
there's
least.
a ghost. There's a ghost of the girl that died. We should go ask her about it because it happened
Right.
a week ago.
Right. And at the very least, if we're playing dumb here, and Dumbledore doesn't know Moaning Myrtle is a ghost, he wasn't invited to the Death Day party, all of these things. at the very least, he knows that she flooded the bathroom, which is what caused the water to be on the floor. And that's how Mrs. Norris sees the basilisk. Like, the water just didn't appear there, Dumbledore. Like, Moaning Myrtle made this happen. So...
That's where, like, again, because these are books and they're fantasy, right? Besides the fact that it's magic and stuff. There's always, like, it's almost like the fever dream version of, like, all the adults are just oblivious to this, and it's up to these 12-year-old kids to be like, well, why was there water on the floor? Let's go find out. Like, nobody thought to look. No, but we did. So we're going to sneak out of class, and we're going to go look and investigate. Like, and even like Percy's like, what are you doing? He's like, looking for clues. He's like, why would you do that? It's like, because there's a lot of questions around, maybe, and
people are petrifying.
Really try.
Like, people are getting petrified, you know.
No one else is trying, so maybe we should. Yeah.
I know. Crazy. Yeah, but I feel like we wouldn't have even had, like, a book. Like, Dumbledore would have figured out where the Chamber of Secrets was if he'd spoken to Moaning Myrtle. And, like, especially now that the Chamber of Secrets is open again, wouldn't now be the moment that you talk to that girl that's a ghost that died the last time it was open?
Yeah.
Like, you would think. You'd think it would, like, spark something in his little Dumbledore brain. And
once book 6 happens and Dumbledore somehow gets into the cave where the Horcrux is with the lake of Inferi.
I'm sorry, Harry never would have been able to figure out that he needs to, like, sacrifice his blood and put his hand in the air to catch a chain for a magical boat.
And Dumbledore's, like, murmuring these, like, weird incantations. Like, where do you even learn how to do that? They don't teach you that at Hogwarts.
No,
how to, like,
I don't think Hermione even would have figured that out. No.
Maybe. But he can do that and figure out where the entrance to this cave is, but he can't, like, figure out where the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets is in Hogwarts. Like, the best wizard ever. Like, that part bothered me. Like, when he is able to do all of these, like, things that are really hard in book 6 with a gimpy hand and just, like, it's nothing, right? He's like,
I can't.
Magic. I'm doing these amazing things with magic. Even in book 5 when he's dueling Voldemort, it's like, wow, that's incredible stuff. And yet he says he can't find the Chamber of Secrets. Nobody can. I'm like, well, if anyone could, you should be able to. Not these 12-year-old kids. It should be you. Abe.
All right, but now, now I'm trying to, like, play benefit of the doubt. Like, what if she said, oh, I was killed and it was a basilisk, whatever. And he's like, okay, cool. But she still doesn't know where the chamber is. She does know the sink. She does know the sink. She was, like, over there by that sink. And then maybe he would see the snakes on it. But, like, maybe he just didn't know, like, to use parcel tongue. But in that same breath, like, you just need a sledgehammer at that point.
If this was an episode of CSI Miami and there was a murder in a bathroom, every centimeter of that bathroom would have been, like, checked multiple times. And they would have been like, what's this little snake doing on this tap of the sink?
Yeah, one of these is not like the other.
Right? Like, whoa, this one doesn't work. Why not? Let's examine what. Maybe it's a clue, right? They would try a little harder, but I don't know. That you can't think too hard about it, right? Because it's a little kid's book.
So why don't we get to our last and final what if, especially because this was Eric's what if.
Yeah.
Which is, what if literally any of the victims hadn't been so lucky and was actually killed?
Right? Because they were all super lucky. Like, super lucky.
Well, I guess not much of it would have really mattered too much, would it? Like, Mrs. Norris
They would have closed the school. You would think, wouldn't they have closed the school?
They didn't close the school when Moaning Myrtle was killed.
I know. I guess you're right there.
They also didn't talk
or did they? I don't know. They, like, sent them.
Or did they? Maybe they closed it for.
Yeah, maybe, but they reopened eventually. Like,
they reopened.
They're like, we can't find this chamber. Everyone just come back next year. We'll try again. It's fine.
My point, though, like, what if? So who was first after Mrs. Norris? The first kid, was it Justin Finch-Fletchley? Or Colin? Yeah, it was Justin.
Justin, I think.
Justin, right? With nearly headless Nick, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What if Justin was killed? They sent all the kids home, and there's no kids left in there for them to lure down into the chamber to steal their soul.
Well, then at the very least, Tom Riddle would have been like, at least I killed one little mudblood. We'll try again next year when they all come back again, because clearly that's what we do.
Would they have tried again next year? Let's try it again.
We'll try again. We'll just try again. It's fine.
Maybe.
That's what we did with Myrtle. So we're just gonna try again.
But yeah. What if Dobby was secretly like putting all these other people in these situations so it wasn't Harry, so that it would send Harry home?
Oh.
Or what if Dobby was like the one that was like ensuring that no one died? Like, what if Dobby was just like secretly the one and we just didn't know about it? Like, Dobby was like, oh, Justin, why don't you like, hey, your parents are just normal, right? So why don't you just hang out with Nearly Headless Nick? Like, just hang out with him and just see the world as he would see it, through him.
See the world through his eyes, literally.
Literally. And Colin, you really like taking pictures. Just make sure, like, before you go down every hallway, you better take a picture of it, and report back to Dobby, because Dobby needs to know about all these pictures. And
yes.
I don't know. Who else? Mrs. Norris. He probably didn't really care about the cat, but
yeah,
I don't know. No one really liked Mrs. Norris. But, like, how cute would...
No,
that's, like, a really cute, like, little, like, fan service thing.
Or, like him just, like, apparating into someone and, like, bumping him, like, one step to the left, so they, like, look down at their shoe, and it's, like, a puddle in the bathroom.
And he's, like, wearing, like, sunglasses. Like, he's just wearing sunglasses, like, throughout this entire experience, so he doesn't look
They're
at
probably
it.
eclipse glasses or, like, a welding mask, really.
Something
Probably
like that.
regular UV protection wouldn't do the trick.
That'd be so funny. It just reminds me of, like... Did you ever have, like, when you were a kid, like, the spy glasses, which, like, look like sunglasses, but they had, like, little mirrors on the side so you could, like, look behind you? Like, that was just... Dobby was just, like, walking backwards everywhere with these sunglasses on, trying to be, like, inconspicuous, and just telling everyone, like, whatever you do it this way so you don't get killed. We know that he did things in a very backwards way because... closed the platform. He jinxed the bludger. You know.
And that's another thing too. Like the amount of like magic he can do. That's just like whatever. I don't think anyone else can do it, but I can because I'm a house elf. Like I'm gonna close the platform 9 3/4 barrier. Like
that's like,
okay.
That's tough, tricky magic.
Right? I can apparate wherever I want.
What if Harry's bones could not have been regrown? And he just had a floppy little arm the whole rest of the series.
Floppy arm the rest of the series. We went back to Madame Malkin's before book 3 and was like, we gotta
fix these robes.
Do something here. I got
my floppy arm.
I got a floppy arm.
No,
she's like, we see it all the time, dear. Don't worry, I have just the thing.
I have just the thing. Oh my gosh.
You know what we don't see all the time, Melanie?
You definitely don't see this particular translation of the show all the time. And we're going to talk about why.
This is kind of a big one to introduce, isn't it? Like...
Well, we have mentioned it before in our episode that was books that are in multiple parts.
Right.
So I don't think it's that big of an intro because we've already talked about it a little bit.
So Vietnamese was first published into what are called like serial books, or sometimes you hear them lovingly referred to as like comic books. They have wonderful cover art. So that's going to be, we're talking about book 1 of the Vietnamese translation in the little serial book form. How fun is that?
Amazing. And also, book 1 itself is 7 volumes.
All with different art. All with different art. So, like, how fabulous is that? Like, alone, how neat is that? Like, that is such an undertaking just for book 1. Like, fabulous. Also, side note, apparently...
All right, let's hear the 10-minute Carly, let's hear the 10-minute commercial. So start talking. And
Sorry.
Try to
Apparently,
not buy them.
Vietnamese books, it is not uncommon for them to be broken up into parts like this when they're published. It is not uncommon for them to be published into serial format. It is only like after like they made serials of books 1 through 5, and then they went through like and actually made them into one volume. I think that's neat. Okay, moving on.
I love it.
Me too. Moving on, the translator was, I'm going to mispronounce this, so I apologize, Lee Lan, published by Youth Publishing House. Just some general information about Vietnamese. Vietnamese is spoken natively by over 70 million people, several times as many as the rest of the Austroasiatic family combined. It is the native language of the Vietnamese Ken people, as well as a second language or first language for other ethnic groups in Vietnam. As a result of immigration, Vietnamese speakers also found in other parts of Southeast Asia, East Asia, North America, Europe, and Australia. Vietnamese has also been officially recognized as a minority language in the Czech Republic, which is really cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I knew there were a lot of
Right?
Vietnamese speakers in France.
Yes, there are.
But I did not know there were a lot in the Czech Republic. That's really
I
interesting.
didn't know that. That is really neat.
Fun fact.
Yeah, the more you know.
Hey, that's why we do this. I just love learning more stuff. The more stuff we learn, the better.
Same. So this, I guess let's just get into it. On a scale of 1 to 5, how hard do you think this book is to get? Now, it's all 7 volumes of the book that to count as one book, right? So to have a complete book, you need all 7.
Right. And I feel like for these, typically, I would say across the board, any collector that I know that has tried to get these serials, I'm sorry to say this, Eric, they are not just getting one book.
No, I know. You have to get the whole shabam.
It's 61 total volumes. So to get all 61 volumes, I would say it's like maybe like a 4 minus.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I feel like a 4. Like
I've seen them on Vietnamese sites, like not eBay,
but then it's like getting them here. Like it's
getting them here. That's the difficulty. So like I don't want to say they're easy to find, but they're easier to find than they are to actually complete the transaction and get them to your house.
Right. And then
Yeah,
also,
if that makes sense.
I've heard tale of people that try to buy them, but the person, like the seller, is like trying to scam them. So they don't even really have the books for sale. They're just trying to get the money. So I've heard of that. More so on sites from like, not Reddit per se, but Reddit similar sites, if that makes sense.
Well, Reddit's where I got my set and your set
Yeah, you
and
got my
Xander's
set
set.
for me. Yeah.
Actually, probably just following. That was probably me following up on a thread that I'm sure Sean McAllister started. I probably just like followed up on some of his leads that he had, and there was someone that he wasn't really interacting with that I ended up communicating with. That's how I got all 3 of my sets, and relatively quickly too. Definitely like wasn't someone scamming, was someone like
Right.
taking good care. And on that note too, they were relatively reasonable. I remember them not being super expensive, and the person that I bought them from wasn't really trying to make a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What would you say then would be a good price to pay for these, including shipping, I guess, because there's a lot and they're heavy. So
yeah. I've seen them
They're not really
sell
heavy,
on
Eric.
Facebook.
they're not heavy?
No.
The whole thing isn't heavy?
No, they're
No.
not. They don't take up a lot of space, and they're really not super heavy because they're small. They are really small.
No, sir.
We're gonna wind
They're
up
not
getting
heavy.
you this.
You're
set.
saying all the things that I don't want to hear right now because
And they're
I'm about to spend a bunch of money in Orlando.
unique cover art inside and outside.
I know, Carly. I know
No, you
there's
don't.
unique
You
cover
don't
art
know
for
how neat
every
these are until you
of the books.
You don't know. You honestly don't know. So anyway, I would say I've seen them sell. I've honestly seen them sell on for around, like what Melanie was saying, 4 to 5. But I've also heard of them selling closer to 150 to 2. See, look at that. Look at that.
I know, they're so cool. I'm showing Eric like pictures.
And there's so many.
150. I could do 150.
There are so many there's so much internal art. You're just missing out.
Precious.
Okay, there's so much art in there.
Yeah, it's so much art.
There's
like
so
if you
much
love
art.
the Harry Potter art, you have to get these. That is my plug. Eric. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, those are pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
I've shown him 3 little images, and it's just
I know, but see, I
adorable.
have a book waiting for me from someone in our Discord, and I just have to send the money, and I'm trying to like send the money, and I keep getting sidetracked by these other things, and so I can't get other stuff until I get that book first.
That's
Then
fine.
maybe
We'll
this is
help
another
you.
one
We'll
I'll
help you
pursue.
find. We'll help you find this set.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
I've
we'll
been
get you there.
offered. There are two different occasions. Someone has said, "Hey, I found another set of these. If you want them, I can get them to send too." And I've like not been in a good spot to spend money at that
you
time.
just didn't know how neat they were, and it wasn't the right time.
Well,
but
and that was back when I would rather spend $150, $200 on a few translations that I didn't have versus like a box of cereals that I had a
and I think
translation
that's
for
fair.
already.
Although
just to get.
I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's the same translation between the book and the serials. I'm not sure if it's a different text block or not. I don't know if they adapted, edited. I don't read or speak Vietnamese, so I don't know, and I've not heard. But that is actually a question that I do have. Do we want to get into the rating scale?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Let's do it. I will sit back and enjoy the show here.
So, what do we think of the smell?
I'm gonna smell like multiple of the volumes because I just
can
want,
tell
like, a
you
good...
mine. Like when I was packing mine up, one of the things that I did was smell them, and I was kind of sad. So I'd say like,
Yeah, I feel like they're like a poor.
yeah, it's like acceptable
They don't really
minus,
smell good.
poor plus.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Like,
yeah, they're almost okay.
I expected them to smell better than they did. You know?
Yeah, I would say they're like a poor.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. At the same time, like, no, we'll get into all the rest of the stuff. And then I'll talk about it.
I have some others,
yeah.
like, about some of the later books. They do smell better, but we're only doing book 1. That to me is like poor plus, acceptable minus.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Size and proportions.
I can't wait to do the rest of this. Size and proportions is if P stood for perfect,
I know.
then it would get P. But it's such an outstanding.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
it's
these
outstanding.
are like
Outstanding.
if you were to even just to hold all 7 volumes,
I
like
know, it's
they're
just perfect.
so
Even all
cute.
7 together.
All 7 together is perfect, but just holding one volume, like how cool would you just be? Like, just be a cool little person on the train, just holding your cute little teeny itty bitty thin little cute little book
And looking at all the art in the inside. Eric.
Oh my gosh, they are so outstanding. Size and proportions are so
it's
outstanding.
outstanding for me.
Outstanding.
Would you have to bring 2 with you ever? Like,
Why would you? Unless you are on a very
what if you're
long
like
train
really
ride.
close to finishing?
It depends. Like,
Finishing
what's your
one of
commute?
them.
Well,
What's your commute?
I don't know. Nothing worse than like you're like I'm set, and then you like there's like a delay and you finish it, and you're like,
I
oh.
feel like you're looking for reasons to dislike this set, and I'm just not going to let it happen. Why
Okay,
are you going to be
Also,
like,
You caught me.
I have
You
2
caught me.
pages
Carry on.
left on this book. Let me wrap it up, and I'll finish on the train and bring a second volume because I like to be complicated. No, you're gonna finish the 2 pages and take your second volume on the train, Eric. That's what you do. Good try though, but you get like a troll for effort.
Eric gets a troll for trying to troll. That's what he gets. Yeah, size and proportion is definitely outstanding.
So how does the book? So how does the book feel in your hands? For this, I want to do all 7 and then 1 individually. I know I'm making the same face.
Outstanding. They're outstanding. That's the thing, Eric. If you wanted to read book 1, holding all 7 in your hand, or even throwing all 7 in your purse, they're so little that you could do that. And how they feel in your hand is just so outstanding. It's just they're so cute. Mm-hmm. they're so tiny. They're just,
and they're easy to read. They flip easily.
I love it.
There's not a reason you wouldn't want to carry these around and try to read them. Individually, they feel great in your hand. Together, they feel great. They're easy to hold as a set. Not missing much. So outstanding for me.
Outstanding how the book feels in your hand.
I don't not want to buy these. Like, I feel like you keep thinking, like, I'm like, I hate these books.
No, but we want you to buy them now.
We're spending extra
You need
effort.
them
I can't buy them now. I have other financial obligations in my life.
Quality of the book. I would say it's kind of like the smell. It's a little bit poor minus.
It's like acceptable-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, these were made to be cheap little cute little books. Like, these are not made to be deluxe illustrated edition on your shelves. Like, that's not what this is for. This is for, oh my gosh, I see that like on a magazine stand, and once a week on my way to work they come out with a new volume, so I'm gonna get the next volume. Like,
these kind of remind me of essentially
the what these are,
books,
you know?
And that they oxidize quickly and they turn brown. Like the later books.
Oh, the paper is terrible.
The paper especially
is
books 1
like
through
all brown.
3, kind of terrible. 4, 5, much better because they started making them better quality before they switched over to the book format. But they're still, you know, they oxidize really terribly. They remind me a lot of Indonesian in that remark. So I would say acceptable. It's a book. They haven't fallen apart. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. I would also say that they're acceptable.
Cover art interpretation.
Outstanding.
Yeah, outstanding.
Everyone is a little bit different. It's so cute. Like, you get something new every single time. So, like, the first one has... all 7 of these have Harry on a little broom with his hand in the air, like he's trying to catch probably the snitch. But the first 2 have, like, unicorns and dragons on them. The second one, it's slightly different colors. Then the third one has an owl on it. 3, 4, and 5 have owls on them. And 3 has little ghosties. And 4 has this weird, terrifying troll thing. And 5 has some ruins. And 6 has more unicorns. And 7 is a little castle. And it's just, everyone is different. You never know. That's what's so cool. There are 61 volumes of these. And they're all different. And to look at every single one, there's something cool to look at with every single book. And I still, to be honest,
I haven't made it through all 61. Like, I have flipped through extensively.
Oh, I haven't either.
But there's so much in them.
I definitely also have not.
Yeah. But yeah, cover art interpretation, all 7 volumes of book 1, outstanding for me.
Outstanding. I love them. They're so fun.
And
so fun.
Even though I'm not doing this, do we still get the outstanding sound effect?
I think so.
You 2 unanimously agree?
I think so.
Did you hear that the last time? It was pretty great.
I did. He did such a good job. Good job, Tommy.
What do we think the X factor is? I personally love how unique they are. Like, this is a standalone.
I agree.
Like, this is one of the ones, like Erik said, when people come down and look at his books, these are the books that I'm like, look at these. It's kind of like the Lithuanian 20th anniversary. It's like, look at these. These are so cool. You have to at least, even if you don't like Harry Potter, even if you're not a big book person, how neat is this, right? Like, that somebody made 61 volumes with completely different artwork, some internal, blah, blah, blah. How neat is this? Like, the X factor for me is just right there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the fact that there are no other books like this at all in the world ever, this comic book concept, really, the only other time I would say it's slightly kind of almost been done is, I think, the New Chinese.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of it.
That's 20 volumes for all 7 books. That kind of does remind me of this, and it's all different cover art, and those are gorgeous.
Yes, completely agree.
But nothing to this.
But those actually feel like books. These feel like comic books. These feel like the Archie comic books that you pick up at the drugstore, like on the way out and read in school, like when your teachers think you're reading your history book. Not that I did that.
I know, and they're so little, so you could like hide them in your textbooks very easily.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah, I would say that's for sure their X factor is just their uniqueness.
Yeah.
Is amazing. I love them. Love these books.
Well, all I'm saying is that you both have my wife's phone number. My birthday's in April. You got time.
Okay.
All right, we'll work on it. We'll definitely work on it.
All right. I think that's the Vietnamese serial books. Oh, they're just beautiful. Y'all need to buy them. Not just Eric, but y'all need to buy them.
If you don't have these and you are a translation collector,
The caveat is, like Melanie said, you really do have. It's hard to find just book one.
I love when you say stuff like that. If you are a translation collector and you don't have
You're
these,
missing out.
missing out.
Yeah,
Missing out, man.
Maybe so you should have just said, Eric, you're missing out. I mean, we've said that enough.
So many times, Eric.
So
You
many
know.
times.
You know.
Sad
I don't even have to
trombone
say it.
sound.
I did see you guys. So our newest Discord member, as of this recording, who posted her collection today in the Discord, noticed that she has the Jim K. No, one of our newest ones. We have a couple new ones that joined her around the same time. She has Jim K. Magical Year, and I wanted to be like, Carly, she has the Jim K. Magical Year book, and you don't.
I love that.
You might be missing something, Carly.
I'm good.
She's gonna get that book eventually. Eventually, she will have it. I know now. I feel like deep down she wants that book so badly, but just out of principle and to spite us, she's not getting that book. I think she wants it. I think she wants it so bad.
You keep trying to convince me to buy these books that I clearly want, and I am definitely going to get someday. It is going to happen. And you're still trying to convince me. My mind is made up. I'm going to do it. But, like, Carly, she can't back out of this lie at this point. She's like, no, that book is the worst book I've ever seen. I'm never buying it, ever.
So committed to not getting the Magical Year. She'll get it eventually.
That's what you did your whole day off today. You went to, like, the bookstore and you just sat and looked at the Jim K. Magical Year.
Even if I were to get it,
you took
y'all
a picture
would
of
never
every
know.
page with your phone.
But I would probably actually tell you, be like, guys, I bought it and I'm such a failure.
That's why you never turn your camera on while we record,
No, I
because
don't
you probably
ever
just
turn
have
it
like
on
19 of
Wait,
them stacked
wait.
behind you.
Guys,
No, I
the
don't.
best thing is we just got a message from Johnny, who's like listening into us live, and he said, I think he had Carly. Did he have you for Secret Santa, Carly?
And he totally nailed it.
Yeah, no, but he said that he almost got you one for your Secret Santa.
Oh, that would have been outstanding.
I love it.
I would have died. And we would have all known about it then because Johnny would have completely told all of us.
Oh, I know.
Oh, guess what I got Carly. So you wouldn't be able to hide it.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. Missed opportunity, Johnny.
But
next time. We'll get him next time.
Totally nailed what I got. I loved what I got. So good job there.
All right.
Yeah. I think that's it.
We don't even need advertisement breaks. This episode is brought to you by the Vietnamese cereal editions. Buy them now.
Right. Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, Eric, you changed it to me.
I think the challenge would be trying to talk Eric into buying a Funko Pop, really, and not the cereal editions.
I have a Funko Pop. I have Groot, and I have Carl from Up.
I mean, a Harry Potter.
But they're not mine. They're my wife's. But I bought them. I bought one of them.
I
would not be opposed to having one or two Harry Potter Pops. I would take them out of the packaging, and they would have to be ones that I thought were really cool. I know, like,
you could
Melanie's
just
got them out.
shop on my shelves, and you can figure out which one you think
but
is cool.
There's no way that I would get them and then fall down the rabbit hole of trying to get them all. Like, I can guarantee you that will not happen.
You can't do that
But
now. It's literally
it's
considered
too hard.
amongst Funko Pop collectors. It's considered one of the hardest sets to complete perfectly. Even me, I have all of them but one, and I'll never have that one. So
Which that one with the backpack?
the LA Comic-Con exclusive one, I'll never own that. It's selling for like $1,000 on eBay. I can't pay for that for a piece of plastic. That
if I ever needed to do Funko Pops for like a complete set, I would do like, do they have like Back to the Future, or do they have like Indiana Jones?
I've seen Back to the Future,
ones
and
where
I'm
there's
pretty
like
sure I've seen Indiana.
six. There's like 6 pops for this show, you know, like, or this movie, and that's it. and they're not going to make more. Like, I would do that.
Honestly, you could do like the Fantastic Beasts ones are really not that hard. I
don't want to do it.
And
I want to do more Harry Potter stuff.
They only did Fantastic Beasts for the first 2 movies. They didn't do any Fantastic Beasts Funko Pops.
Oh, you're right.
They
didn't
do any for 3. As long as they stop.
Nope, they stopped. So
I wonder.
Yeah, there's only.
I'll just get Wednesday Addams from the new show, and I'll just call it good.
There you go.
That one's hard to get, apparently.
Well, yeah, because I imagine.
I would imagine demand is high.
Yeah.
I'll have to check Hot Topic next time I go to the mall.
Yeah, you will.
That is all the time we have today. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so in many different ways. All of us are on Instagram. Carly is at All the Pretty Books. I am at Dr. Erik, and Melanie is at the Harry Potter Collection. Melanie and Carly both have fantastic websites. They are alltheprettybooks.net and theharrypottercollection.com. We have a website for this podcast. It is aptly named Dialoguealley.com. You can check out stuff on there. We have these cool little pictures with bios about us. It's pretty cute, I think. Pretty magical site. Melanie also has a TikTok, which is the Harry Potter Collection. We have a Twitter account, which is Dialogue_Alley, and a Facebook page for Dialogue Alley as well. You can find our podcast wherever you're listening to it right now. You can also find us on all these other streaming services that you can possibly think of. You can also find us ad-free if you subscribe to our Patreon, which you can do that by going to www.patreon.com/dialoguealley. If you sign up for one of our tiers, it's our middle tier or higher tier, you get ad-free episodes as well as bonus episodes. So that's a pretty cool perk. You can also engage with us in our Discord, which is a cool little chat room, which not only has awesome members of the Harry Potter fan community and translation community, but it also has awesome resources. If you'd like to buy Harry Potter books, if you'd like to ask questions about what book you have or how to maybe find a translation or even just find any Harry Potter book. Like, let's say you want a hardcover UK book 4 and you're like, where's the best spot to buy these? Someone in our Discord will be more than happy to answer that question for you. It's really just a great community to look out for each other and to just talk about Harry Potter stuff. So you get access to that Discord even with our lowest Discord, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. You get access to that with our lowest Patreon tier, and that's awesome too. So, but by listening to us, wherever you're listening to us, you are supporting us as well. So thank you so much for your support. We love doing the show, and we love that people love listening to it. So that's really all we need, is that people like listening to us talk about stuff, like convincing you to buy books that maybe you already want but have told people that you're just waiting to buy until you've, saved up enough money. Melanie, yeah. Carly. Yeah, that's me.
You'll get there.
We'll get there. You can also find other Harry Potter related things and shows to listen to on MuggleNet. We are part of the MuggleNet podcast family. So you can go to MuggleNet and just check out all the Harry Potter news and different podcasts they have available for you there, which is really great. Lastly, if you like what you're hearing, please feel free to leave us a review wherever you listen to our show and spread the word to your friends. You can tell your FedEx delivery person that you listen to this show about 61 volumes of Harry Potter in Vietnamese, and this individual might be really surprised and say, wow, tell me more, and you can point them in our direction. And Shazam, new listener. It's like magic. Just like, that's the definition of magic
just
right there.
Just like magic.
It's just, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Oh. Well, and with all of that being said, it is time to walk back through the archway and into all of our daily lives, and we will catch you next time on Dialogue Alley. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.